Massachusetts. This year marks the 10th anniversary of the state's first ever early voting period back in 2016. And while its popularity has dwindled somewhat since lawmakers made mail-in voting more accessible after the COVID pandemic, Secretary of State Bill Galvin says it remains an opportunity for voters who, for whatever reason, want to hand in their ballot in person ahead of the September 1st primary. The Senate primary debate between Senator Ed Markey and Representative Seth Moulton featured sparks over age, the war in Iran, transgender rights, and iPad apps. Markey and Moulton will face off. The state primary is September 1st, on the ballot in our primary voter guide. Voters will also get to decide on Question 3, a ballot initiative that eliminates political primaries in statewide elections. What could go wrong? Boston is on the even shorter shortlist to host the 2028 Democratic National Convention after party officials winnowed the contenders from 5 to 3. DNC leaders announced yesterday that the finalists are Boston, Denver, and Atlanta and Chicago. DNC leaders announced yesterday that the finalists are Boston, Denver, and Atlanta and Chicago. Will be announced later this year. In the 1st District, incumbent Democrat Representative Richard Neal is facing a primary challenge from Jeremy Whalen. No Republicans are running for the seat. In the 2nd District, incumbent Democrat Representative Jim McGovern has no primary challengers. No Republican candidates are running for office. In the 3rd District, incumbent Democrat Representative Lori Trahan is not facing any primary challengers. Gary Grassi is the only candidate on the Republican ticket. In the 4th District, incumbent Representative Jake Auchincloss and Jason Poulos will be on the Democratic ballot. Thomas Stahlcup is the only Republican running. In the 5th District, House Minority Whip Catherine Clark is facing two challengers, Jonathan Paz and Tarek Salmon. No Republicans are running in the 5th District. See a pattern, y'all? In the 6th District, several candidates are vying for the North Shore seat as Representative Seth Moulton vacates it. Bethany Andrus Beck, John Becca, Jamie Belcito, Dan Coe, Mariah Lancaster, and Tram Nguyen are all hoping to come out on top of the Democratic Party primary. Micah Quinney Jones is the only Republican running. Good luck, Micah, you're going to need it. In the 7th District, incumbent Democrat Representative Ayanna Pressley is the only Democrat running for office. No Republicans are running. In the 8th District, incumbent Democrat Representative Stephen Lynch is being challenged by Patrick Roth. Robert Gerald Burke is the only Republican seeking the seat. In the 9th District, incumbent Representative Bill Keating and Craig Swallow will both be on the Democratic Party ticket. One Republican, R. Tyler McAllister, will be on the party primary ballot. Massachusetts does not have any statewide Republican office holders. Democrats currently hold all statewide elected executive offices, including the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, and secretary of the Commonwealth. All of Massachusetts' U.S. senators and U.S. representatives in Congress are Democrats. Democrats hold a supermajority in both chambers of the Massachusetts General Court, with Republicans making up a small minority of the seats, as in 5 out of 40 members of state Senate, 25 out of 160 House of Representatives, or about 15%. Massachusetts ranks as one of the safest and lowest crime states in the U.S., placing number 4 for crime and corrections in U.S. News and World Report rankings, and generally sitting in the top 5 to 10 safest states nationwide in independent safety studies. So must be doing something right? Unless we look at last year's Massachusetts crime statistics scandal of 2025. The massive state drug laboratory scandals involving chemists Annie Ducon and Sonia Farak. Their actions resulted in the tampering of evidence, faked test results, and the subsequent dismissal of more than 61,000 tainted drug charges across over 35,000 criminal cases. In Massachusetts, it will take years to unravel the scope of such systemic errors. Oh, and a Chinese national has been arrested on voter fraud charges after allegedly attempting to illegally register to vote in Massachusetts by impersonating another Chinese national, even successfully submitting a fraudulent voter registration and ballot in the 2024 presidential election, the feds say. Senator Nick Collins accuses Boston Mayor Wu of stalling contentious tax hearing until after election. Collins, a South Boston Democrat who has been feuding with Wu for years over his move to block her signature property tax shift legislation, said the mayor is hiding information from his working-class constituents in the 1st Suffolk District to benefit his primary opponent, LaToya Gale. A growing $50 million spending deficit and a $150 million White Stadium boondoggle don't disappear, Collins said. The bill lands on the backs of hardworking taxpayers in my district. Homeowners were hit this year on average with a 13% property tax hike. Per the Boston Herald, Boston may have overtaxed 150 commercial properties. A watchdog is seeking state probe. From there, we easily derive the 150 properties, a Pioneer spokesperson said. In a media briefing, they say 150 properties carry an estimated overtaxation value of roughly $19 million. Restitution, the city could be on the hook for repaying to affected property owners should it lose the lawsuit. The city's statement, the city assesses 180,000 properties annually, and less than one out of every 200 end up in dispute. There is a well-established and clear legal process for any property owner to appeal who believes their valuation is too high, including this plaintiff. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu has hired a new leader of the election department ahead of the state primary, as the city continues to make changes to try to work itself out of state receivership after a disastrous election 2 years ago. Geez, folks, maybe give Republicans a shot. Can it be worse? That's all I've got for you. Early voting en masse is on now, August 22nd to 28th. Election day polling hours, 7 a.m., 8 p.m. October 17th to 30th. Election day polling hours, 7 a.m., 8 p.m. Mail ballots for the primary election must be received by 8 p.m. on Election Day. Mail ballots for the general election must be received by 5 p.m. the third day after the election, and be postmarked on or before Election Day. Ballots must be received in the election office. They cannot be left at polling places on Election Day. See you Fridays on 3 and 3 and our monthly 7 from 7. Please subscribe at heartlandjournal.com and never miss an episode. 3 and 3 is a Heartland Journal copyright. All rights reserved. Any unauthorized reproduction is strictly prohibited.